you for joining me in the studio today.
Thanks
a pleasure. How have you been?
Great, thank you.
Good.
Very well.
So on my way here, I was actually thinking that we never really talked about your background because I lived in Yorkshire and you're from Yorkshire.
I'm drinking Yorkshire tea.
So you see, you couldn't have more Yorkshire than that.
Yeah.
So you were born in Doncaster. This is it. And you lived there
till I was 20, maybe.
20 How was it like?
It's a very small town. It's not a city. It was a great town for me to sort of just like, I don't know, to harbour all these like feelings of wanting to be something bigger than the place that you are. Because in Doncaster we were just surrounded by bigger cities. So we had Leeds and Sheffield, and then as soon as anybody passed their driving test, we would all pile in someone's car and we would go to Sheffield or we'd go to Leeds and watch bands.
Yeah. So you learned drums there. How old were you?
14. I started at 14. No. I started having lessons at school.
Yeah.
But it was very traditional. It was very, let's do exams, let's learn all the rudiments, and I just found it really boring.
Yeah.
And I hated to sit in a room. Even now, like, I hate to sit in a room on my own and play the drums. I find it incredibly boring, which seems insane, but I do. I find it a bit boring. So I went and found lessons at the local drum shop in town, and the drum teacher, Ian West, he's such a cool dude. He was like, so how do you want to learn? I was like, I just want to learn to play like this. So I would bring in CDs of drummers that I loved at the time. I would always take in Red Hot Chili Peppers and Foo Fighters. So I played along to a lot of Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic.
Nice. So then you moved to London?
No, I moved to Leeds.
You moved to Leeds? Did you study there?
Just for 1 or 2 years. I joined a girl band called the Ivories, and we did lots of touring we supported Placebo, and we played with Sisters of Mercy. But that it was fun while it lasted, but it just imploded on itself. I think we were a bit too young to, I don't know, not much experience. Yeah. And then I joined a band called Lightspeed Champion that was based in London, and this was Dev Hines, who's now Blood Orange. And that was like my first real experience of international touring, piling in a tour bus, like driving from one end of Europe to the other, and the same went to America and did it in North America and did it there. And then I was totally hooked. I was like, I want to do this forever and ever.
Yeah. And then did you join Metronomy after that?
Dev, from Lightspeed Champion, he moved to New York. Yeah. And in a very music industry style, nobody really let me know that the band wasn't going to continue in that way. So I'd moved to London by this point, and I was like, what am I going to do? But growing up where I grew up and the parents that I've got like a really good work ethic. So I was like, right, I need to get a job, right? So I worked at the Science Museum for a little bit. I mean, it was mainly through Joe. I was sitting on the back of the number 8 bus going home. I think I'd stopped to get some groceries or whatever. And I got this text message from a number I didn't recognise, and then it was like, hey, it's Joe from Metronomy. What are you doing? Do you want to come and play drums with us? Yeah. And we're doing like a little audition. It didn't feel like an audition. I almost felt like Joe was pretty sure he wanted me in the band. Maybe I'm just being really big-headed. And then Benga was there at the same time, the bass player. So yeah, that was that really. Yeah. And we just went on tour. And just kept on touring and touring. And now it's 10 years later.
You also sing in one of the songs. Yes. I think. Was it hard for you to get used to it?
And drumming at the same time? Yes. You have to separate your head from your body. That sounds ridiculous. But you've got to pretend that they're two completely separate things, because if you start thinking about the syllables of the words and and the way that you're singing it, then you want to play it on the drums. So you have to just like, as if your head's like over there. So you're having like this internal battle with your brain, like, don't play that, you.
Have you been like nervous?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, absolutely. I get really nervous. I was nervous before doing this. The fact that you turn up in these places that you've never been to before, and there's all these people that have paid money to come to see you. You're just like, oh my God. You've got a sense of responsibility. Not for them to have a good night. I mean, that's up to them. But like, you have a sense of responsibility about your performance, and
Like any ritual, like so for you to like to call me for the gig or something, like you just go and you know when you start playing you'll just flow and everything will be fine.
I suppose the only ritualistic thing I do is just put my makeup on, because I don't normally wear lipstick like in general life, but I wear it on stage. So for me it's a very kind of like calming, like I'm just gonna spend like I literally spend about 15 minutes putting lipstick on. It's just lipstick. But it's now for Oscar. I remember him saying like he knows it's time for him to get prepared when I sit down and I get my lipstick out and I'm just like putting it on. He's like, okay, right, I've got to get ready now because Anna's putting a lipstick on.
So as I told you, I'm like now learning how to play drums, and it was something. Thanks a lot. And when I told my friends like I'm gonna do this, they're like, oh, that's so cool because everyone is looking for a female drummer. How was it like when you start playing drums in 2004? I think sometime around it, and now do you see any differences?
I was quite lucky in the way that I was brought up by my parents. They never made me feel like my gender mattered.
Yeah,
I just did whatever, and I wanted to play drums. Great, go and play drums. There was never a, oh, that's really for boys. You shouldn't really be doing that. You know, my dad would teach me how to play cricket, or he'd teach me how to play football, or you know, just didn't matter. So I was quite lucky. I went through my early teens into my late teens and 20s, just not really noticing that I was an anomaly. Let's say. Yeah. There's more focus on it now, and I think because I mean, feminism's been around for bloody ever, but it's become more of a focus, I think, now in the past sort of 5 or 6 years, and I'm really grateful for that, because it means that other girls and other women are just thinking, oh yeah, I could do that, sure, why not? If male artists or female artists actively search for a female musician to be in their band, then that's helping the cause. That's like, you know, for example, I was approached by Miles Kane's people, and they wanted me to play drums, and I couldn't do it because I was on tour with Metronomy, but I was like, I'm really sorry, I can't do it. And then I asked the question, is it a female drummer you're looking for specifically? And they said yes.
I think they do have a female drummer.
Yeah, because I have like a little book of like all my female drummers. But I'm like, no, but you should. Here's so and so. You can like call her. She'll be free. So I always pass on drumming work to other women. So he's got a huge fan base. Lots of young girls really love him. So the fact that he's done that, lots of young girls will see Victoria, who is the drummer, see Victoria up there, and think, oh great, cool, I'll do that. And that's, for me, that's helping the cause.
So what are your 2019 plans? Is there anything that you can share?
Summer festivals with Metronomy. It's mainly Metronomy this year, which is really exciting. We've got mainly European festivals. We're playing All Points East as well in London. Nice. I'm really looking forward to that. We played together last on New Year's Eve. I haven't seen the boys for a while, so it'll be really good to just get back into the routine of going rehearsing and, you know, figuring out what we want to wear on stage.
Yeah, and, always amazing outfits.
Yeah, like you've got to think about this stuff. You can't take this shit lightly.
Do you have your lipsticks ready for the tour?
Yeah, maybe I should get a new shade of lipstick.
Yeah, go fancy.
Yeah, get my nails done, haircut.
Everything. Yeah. Well, should we go back?
Yeah.
The drums?